Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of I have no idea what this is called. I'm just kidding. Check the YouTube channel name. It is called The Most Elite Podcast. Please like, comment, and the thing. Subscribe. Anyway, this week we're talking about, we're going to change things up. I know the first few episodes I've talked about sort of walking simulator-y horror games. Now, I love horror games. I love horror. If you haven't watched those first few episodes, please go and watch them and you'll be amazed at how much I can ramble on about horror and horror and horror. But now we're gonna lighten the tone. We're gonna talk about another genre that I really, really love, that I feel lets me down a lot. We're gonna get really into the meat of what makes me as a man. And we're gonna talk about loot games. And I mean all loot games that I've played at least. So going down the list, we got Diablo, which is my favorite loot game. So we're gonna talk about Diablo. We're going to talk about Borderlands, another one of my favorites. We're going to talk about the countless clones that these games have spawned, probably not. We'll probably just focus on Diablo and Borderlands, which are my favorite loot games. I know there's tons of other games out there that use this sort of loot system. I don't really care about them. I really just care about Diablo and Borderlands, really. And I know that sounds like, oh, but you're missing this and you're missing that. I'm just kidding for the sake of the video. I just don't really have time to talk about all of them because there are a million of them. So if I don't talk about just Diablo and Borderlands, I'll probably talk about another one. Damn, I can't even think of another one, even though there's tons of them. Oh, how could I forget? Destiny or The Division, which borrows, in my opinion, The Division borrows the most from Diablo. And I know they don't look anything alike on the surface, but if you sit down and play those games, you'll be like, this is fucking Diablo. Like, even to like the greater rifts, like in Diablo there's rifts. More on that in a second. I don't even know, like, if you guys, whatever. I'm not going to get into a ramble just yet. Here we go. Let's start the fucking episode. Let's open it up with Diablo, and let's go from there before I lose my goddamn mind immediately. All right, so loot games. What are they? A loot game is a game in which you, the player, kill things in your environment, complete quest, and level up. While doing that, you obtain loot. And loot can be anything from a cosmetic change, like wings, like those cosmic wings I still don't have, or armor. Most normally, armor and weapons that allow you to progress through the game easier, swifter, and all around feel like a badass. In the case of Diablo, so yeah, what makes a loot game? That thing I just said, that makes a loot game. You have to kill stuff, do stuff, achieve things, and you get rewarded for it in loot. And in Diablo, the way that's done is there are these things called mobs. And that's just what they're colloquially called. They're just monsters on the screen. They come in several different flavors. Normal, which don't really have a high drop chance of anything. Elite. And boss. That's about it. So the normal enemies don't have a glowy outline, and they just attack you. And they're like, oh, sweet, enemy AI player or whatever, fuck it. And they come at you, and you kill them in the best fashion. In Diablo, you get tons of options how to kill these assholes. You get witch doctor, wizard, barbarian. I'm going to keep saying it like this. Monk. Another one. Oh, demon hunter. Holy shit, I almost forgot the demon hunter. Crusader was a recent add. In 3, they recently brought back the necromancer from 2. And he's completely OP as fuck. And I know that the only sounds like, but that's like 6 classes. What are you talking about? Well, those 6 classes can be spec'd and built by the loot. Calling back to the title, the loot you get in these games to be fucking monstrous. Like, you can have what's known as a pestilence. One of the popular necromancers right now is the pestilence one, or a blood lance necromancer. And I'm not a loot build fucking tech guy, so basically, these builds operate as in the game, there's gear you pick up, and some of it is special gear, like set gear, meaning it has a name, meaning that if you put on 1 or 2 pieces of this gear, you get a bonus that's permanently affixed as long as you're wearing it. So the set gear really names the build, but there's, in Diablo at least, there's so much set gear in it, and there's so many like items that change you that it almost feels limitless. I mean, you take a game like Diablo 3, it came out in 2012. People still play it faithfully today. I think it has these things called seasons, which reward you for participating in the season. And the season rewards are great, but as for a player like me, I'm not the best player. I think I'm only like Paragon 600. I still haven't even capped 1,000, and I've been playing since 2012. So Paragon basically is the level after you level. In most games, there's a new game plus or something where you can keep leveling up. So in Diablo, once you hit level 70, which is the max for your character, you continue to earn experience toward what's called your Paragon level. And when you level up in a Paragon level, you get what's called a Paragon point. The Paragon point changes your base character, like, period. If you assign a point to a Paragon stat, that's your Paragon now. And it could be you move faster permanently. You have more resource regeneration to use your cool special moves that make you look like a badass. Or you cooldown reduction. There's gold find, like if you want to find more gold. I feel like gold's a non-starter. Like you don't. Well, I've been playing for a long time and I have millions of gold, so I really don't care about it. But I guess starting out, you're like, oh, I need this gold to mod this thing. You know, there's shops, there's gyms. There's so much in Diablo to unpack. I can't even talk about all of it because I would ramble too damn long. But if you haven't played Diablo, any of them, just go and play one of them. Like, and you'll be like, oh shit, is this what he's talking about? Wow, this is too damn much. It is too much. And I get angry with Diablo a lot. I love the game to death. I'm a ride or die Diablo guy. But I get super mad a lot. And lately I've been getting super mad because I'm on a quest for some loot that's quite hard to get. For anybody who's played Diablo 3, they know that you get wings in Diablo 3. And the wings don't do anything. They just look cool. They're on your, you can put them on any character. They're across each character. So if you unlock them with one character, hey, you got them with every character. Sweet. And there's these wings in Diablo 3 that I really want called the cosmic wings. Or the rainbow wings. And I call them the rainbow wings because the only way to get these wings is in Diablo there's an enemy type called goblins. And it can range from what's called a treasure goblin that just drops general treasure to a menagerous goblin which drops pets and stuff like that. And pets also don't do any, well, they pick up gold for you, but they're really just there to look cool. You know, there's like little monsters that follow you around, or a cow, or a fucking battleship that they just added from StarCraft. There's a fucking StarCraft battleship pet. Oh, there's Liv Tyler Moore from iZombie. She's a pet in the game. That's fucking wicked, right? Anyway, the wings. I want these things called rainbow wings, and the only way to get them is to kill a goblin type called the Rainbow Goblin. Now, the Rainbow Goblin has about anywhere from a 1 to a 4.3% spawn chance in the open world, in adventure mode, which is the open world in Diablo. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a lot. It's because it isn't. I'm not going to defend that. They need to up the fucking goblin spawn chance. Are you kidding me? Anyway, it's like a 4-point spawn chance. So what you do these things the community is dubbed Goblin Runs, all in the sake of this loot, because this is a loot game. Look at the title of the video, If I Lost You. So this loot, the rainbow wings or the cosmic wings, the Rainbow Goblin doesn't drop them. Nah, it'd be too easy. So when you find and kill a Rainbow Goblin, upon death, they always open a portal to a place called Whimsydale. And in Whimsydale, there's a boss that you have to find and kill. Whimsydale's a small map. You can clear it in a couple of moments. And in the map, you're looking for a boss type called Princess Lillian. And she has a whopping 1% spawn rate. So think about that for a moment. The goblins that you have to find to get to this place have a 4% spawn rate. An enemy that drops the wings that you want, that I want, has a 1% spawn rate. Now, all over the forums, you'll find people who've opened 500 plus rainbow portals and still don't have those wings. I'm not one of them. I think I've only opened about 90 or 80, something like that, portals. I don't have the wings. Some people are thinking that there's some sort of mercy counter where after you reach like 1,000 portals, it just gives it to you. I don't think that's the case. I really do think it's random. And that's the problem with me in loot games. Calling back to what makes the meat of me is I'm pretty sure I'm cursed, guys. And not cursed like in a traditional Hollywood movie. There's a ghoul on my shoulder shit. I have terrible luck when it comes to random numerical generators, or popularly known as RNG. My luck in RNG is probably the worst, like on Earth, I think. And especially in video games, or even in board games. Like we have board game nights with my friends, and we play like Betrayal at House on the Hill and Cats in a Blender and all sorts of shit. And I just get fucking swept because It's like I'm like reverse Heart of the Cards Yugi. Like the card I don't need will be the card I pull, no matter what. Like it's crazy. I can't even. It's like I'm reverse Heart of the Cards Yugi. That's the best way I can explain it to you guys. And yeah, so I don't have those fucking wings, and that's I feel like that's what loot games are, though. I mean, I love loot games because of that. I hate them, but I love them because of that. You can spend there's literally an infinite amount of hours you can play a loot game and still have shit to do. I've been playing Diablo 3 since 2012, since it released. Before it was the Reaper of Souls, before it was this Eternal Edition and all this shit. And I love that game, and I max every character, but once again, I'm not Paragon 1000. For those who play Diablo, are probably laughing at me like, "Oh, you fucking scrub." But look, man, I love Diablo, and I feel like as a community, we should lift each other up. So maybe drop your fucking gamer tags or whatever, your Paragon 1000, and taxi me, help me. Shit, I got to clear some greater rifts. This shit is hard. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what a loot game is. It is a game that allows you to create an avatar, explore a world, and collect items that make exploring the world better. And like it reflects in your character the items you collect. And in Diablo, it's really simple. You start like in tatters, like you wear a fucking t-shirt and jeans, basically. You know, like Gaia Online, you're starting out. And as you play, you pick up items, and the items change your character's appearance. And you can look like a total badass. Once you've leveled up a little bit and you're fighting stronger monsters, they drop cooler stuff, and you're like, oh man, I look so cool. And that's a big part. I know developers know this, and I feel like some of them ignore it. That's a big part of gaming. Just feeling cool. And a lot about feeling cool comes from looking cool. People are playing the shit out of Monster Hunter World right now. It's not a loot game. Monster Hunter is not a loot game. There's loot in it, but it's not a loot game in a traditional sense. I'm sure some people would argue that it is, and hell, you might have a great argument for it, and I'd love to hear it. But in my eyes, Monster Hunter is not a loot game. But the reason I feel like people keep playing the hell out of it, and have been for many, many years, is because it makes you look and feel cool. And that's a big part of video games. That's one of the reasons a lot of us play it. You know, video games are the ultimate like relaxer, escapism. I know I play video games to feel strong. I'm powerless in real life. I got to go to my fucking job, you know. I got to do it. Yeah. It's like, But if I turn a video game on, I can leave all of that and be the ultimate badass. And I feel like loot games in particular allow you to do that, because most loot games, with the exception of like Borderlands, you know, most loot games give you a blank slate character, and you make that character whoever you want it to be. Sometimes they don't talk, sometimes they do. It doesn't really matter. They're your avatar. You're living through them, and collecting the loot and powering up makes you, the player, through the avatar, feel good and feel strong. And I think that's why loot games are fucking great. As far as Diablo goes, that's why I still play it. I love that shit, especially with all the classes that I was talking about in the beginning. I'm playing a Wave of Light monk, and I know for the unblooded, that sounds strange, but that shit is great. You fucking dash around. Look, play Diablo. I could talk about it forever. Play Diablo. Moving on to the next game, because you know the length of the video. I got to keep a time here, guys. Like I'm a fucking professional. Okay, Jesus Christ. We're moving on to what is it? What's my next game, guys? I do this all the time. I forget what I'm talking about. I think I ramble too much and it's affecting my brain. Not Destiny. Borderlands. Let's talk about Borderlands. And Borderlands, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what it is. You are 5 or so random characters. You come to a planet called Pandora. And one, you start on a bus. And you're just on a bus looking around, and there's a couple of people on the bus with you. You're like, oh, who the fuck are these people? You get off the bus and you can pick which one of them to play. There's a wizard class, a gunner class, a melee class, and a sniper class. Broken at their base, that's what they are. Now you could say all the nuances or whatever, but if we're talking about loot games, they're always normally classes. And you pick a class and you go and get your fucking loot. And in Borderlands 1, that's what it is. You got the wizard, the gunner, the melee, and the long range character, the archer character. I pick the archer character in most games. I'm always a sniper. And shooters. In most loot games, though, I'm the wizard class. I didn't do that in Borderlands just yet. Like, the Sirens are the wizard class. I haven't played them yet in either game. They didn't excite me. I don't know. But in Borderlands, you pick your class and you do shit. There's quests all over the world. There's tons of side quests. The main story unfolds. Borderlands has like a tight story, and you can't skip any of the cutscenes, which bums me out. I feel like every game now you should be able to skip cutscenes. That's the reason I didn't give, on a different note, I didn't give Dead Space 3. I don't know if anybody's played it. Go play that too. I'll probably do a video on it. Dead Space 3, I didn't give a perfect score. Like, it got a 9 out of 10 for me. And that one point was because I couldn't skip cutscenes. I played it so many times, and I wanted, like, for the 5th time, I was like, please just, I know this shit. Let me skip this cutscene. Nope. Can't ever skip it. I don't know if they released a patch that allows you to. And that's pretty lame. Because I love that game, and I want to play that game, but I'm forced to sit through hours. It tallies up to a couple of hours of fucking cutscene that I've already seen when I first played the game. Anyway, back to Borderlands. So you pick your class, and you go under the world, and that's what a loot. I've explained it in the beginning. That's a loot game. You're out in the world, you level up, you earn powers, and you earn items that allow you to traverse and explore the world that it presents you easier, and feel good while doing it. And Borderlands is a first-person shooter, unlike Diablo, which is like a top-down dungeon crawler, where you see your character and all the changes reflected. Your character doesn't change in Borderlands. There are outfits you can wear that only multiplayer people could see. So you don't really see that unless you pause the game or open your menu. But since Borderlands is a first-person shooter, what is reflected is all the guns. They change your appearance, because otherwise you'd just be seeing your hands with a static, singular gun. Like, what the fuck? The guns are Borderlands. Borderlands are the guns. And that's the loot. In Borderlands, you want guns. You want good guns. You want the best guns for your class. You want guns that could, like, liquefy a guy, and then as he's liquefying, he explodes, damaging other enemies near him. Borderlands has nigh infinite amount of gun subtypes and types, and it's crazy. So, yeah, I feel like Borderlands is not much to say about it, because it is a first-person shooter. It had tons of games. It had the pre-sequel, which takes place before and after 2, which I know is kind of weird, but 2 like it had some cliffhangery shit, and the pre-sequel cleared it up at the end. The pre-sequel really solved that, and that was neat. I thought that it would do that. Basically, at the end of Borderlands 2, you discover you're vault hunters in Borderlands. Before I go off topic, in Borderlands, your avatars are called vault hunters, and what you do is you travel, I guess, the cosmos looking for fucking loot. Like, that's literally what it is. They look for loot. They look for cool shit. They're basically fucking Indiana Jones with powers. Instead of putting stuff in the museum, they use it. That's what it is. And at the end of 2, when you beat the final boss, no spoilers, I'm pretty sure people have fucking seen it. But when you beat the final boss, it's like, all right, you thought there was only this vault or that vault on this planet. Here's a fucking space map of the entire constellation you're in, and looky here, vaults everywhere. Got him. And you're like, great, more loot, more gunning, more shit, let's do it. Oh, but it's been like 9 years since Borderlands 2 came out, and there's still no word on 3. There was a technical demo, which I was like, all right, sweet. I mean, that means they're working on the game. I know that, but can I get a real trailer? I don't want to say a release date, because I don't want to push the envelope, but I would like more than what they've given us, so I can know that this game is actually coming out, so that the hype won't die. Like, I still play Borderlands 2. Like, I turn it on all the time, and I'm like, really want to see this in updated graphics, because it came out on the 360 PS3, and it's like, oh, they ported it over, with the collection, but it still looks like those games. I'd love to see a PS4, Xbox One, PC Borderlands. It would be great, and I can only imagine the cool shit they would do with all the new hardware. Like, if you have a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, like, the cool shit that they could do. And it really bums me out that, like, with Diablo, like Diablo 4, where the hell is that? Please, there's been like 3 BlizzCons or whatever, and where the hell is it? I really, really want that game. And look, they don't gotta stop supporting 3. They could keep supporting 3. Just let me get 4. Same thing for Borderlands. Let me get 3, man, please. But that's Borderlands in a nutshell. You run around, you run a gun. It's a first-person shooter. You shoot everything up. It's great. But what makes it great is that you're collecting loot. You're collecting items that make you feel stronger. They make you look stronger, because some of the guns are crazy. And you're powering up. And that's another thing about loot games. You level up as a character. Your avatar levels up and allows you to do things that you couldn't do before. Like, and Borderlands, it's like, all right, you're the shooter gunner class. Like, your first power you get is a turret, and you throw that turret And it's like, oh, shoot, sweet. As you level up, you get powers for the turret. Like now the turret shoots missiles. Or when a turret goes out, it erupts in a nuclear blast with an area of effect damage. Like shit like that is what you aim for, what you strive for in loot games. You want to be like, all right, you're getting all this cool loot, but let's not neglect your avatar. Your avatar is getting crazy powers, which augments the fucking loot. Some powers work specifically with the loot you're holding. So if you're like in Borderlands, if you have a class that like one of your powers is triples explosive damage, that means grenades, rocket launchers, and even some of the guns in Borderlands shoot explosions. They're called torque weapons. That would triple just using that. It's like, oh shit, I'm crazy strong. And that's all because loot games, good loot games, make sure that your powers complement the hell out of your gear. And it could be from the starting, just a starting pistol or melee damage times 15. Oh, I happen to be the melee class. I'm gonna put my gun away, but while it's equipped, if I melee a guy, 15 power up. I'm punching in a shooter. Like it's good games, good loot games change the way you play them by your powers and the loot working together in tandem, and it's great. And what's the next one? Destiny. Look, I have a very like strange relationship with Destiny, and all my friends who know me know this. Number one, I played in year one, and it was bad for me. And I don't think that's a controversial statement. I think everyone can agree that year one Destiny was a shit show. I still played it with all my friends. But I had to, look, I'm the kind of guy, I'm not a glutton for punishment. I couldn't keep playing a bad game. So I was like, all right, guys, stay up, stay blessed. And I took off. I picked my hat up, my coat off the rack, put my shoes back on at the door, and I got out of there. Around when The Taken King came out, all my friends hit me up, called me on my phone, emailed me, whatever, like, bro, you got to come back to Destiny. This shit is good now. I was like, oh, is it good? But look, here's the thing, in my friend circle, if one of us buys a game, we're all getting the game. That's the situation. Even if one of us buys it for the others. I remember Destiny 2 was coming out at the time. A couple of my friends weren't working. They're working now. They're doing good now. But they were like, man, Destiny 2 is coming out, and that's a game that the crew, the squad, was playing. So I was like, fuck it, I ended up buying Destiny 2 3 times. And I didn't even want to buy it one time because Destiny 1, as much as Taken King was good and Rise of Iron was good, and we all had a good time and we all had a lot of fun, year one, and this is what they say about first impressions, that shit left such a bad taste in my mouth that I just didn't enjoy the game anymore. Look, you can have fun doing anything with friends. So whenever I play with my friends, it was like, yeah, but I would never turn it on outside of that. You would never see, oh, Ian's online and he's playing Destiny. What a surprise. That would never happen. I would never, ever be playing it unless I was already in a party and we all decided, let's go do this raid. Let's go clear this content. Yeah. So Destiny 2, I ended up buying it 3 times, but that's the kind of group we are. Like, we all get a game. We're all playing it. So for Destiny, my relationship is, look, it's a great loot game. It ticks all the boxes that I've been talking about this episode. It gives you an avatar. In the first game they talked, I don't know what happened. Second game they don't, whatever. It gives you an avatar. You could imprint yourself onto this avatar. There's 3 classes in Destiny. There's the tank class, the quick shooty, slightly DPS class, and the wizard class. Of course, I'm the wizard class always. They give you these classes and they drop you into the world. And what's a loot game, everybody? A loot game is leveling up and collecting items to help you explore the world easier. And Destiny really nailed that. It hit the hammer on the nail. They nailed it. And I'll give them all the credit for it. It's great. The world is fun to explore. The lore in 1, I won't say 2 because that should. Look, just go look up Destiny, and because I'm not going to make this a Destiny video. The lore in 1 is amazing. It's one of the only reasons to play the game, in my opinion. Yeah, but exploring felt good. Fighting enemies felt good, especially with your friends, and like you get that perfect headshot or a rocket launcher. The powers make you feel, once again, what do you got to feel like? Come on, class. We talked about this. I expected the report on my desk 3 hours ago. You gotta feel like a badass. And Destiny really makes you feel like a fucking badass. I'm triple jumping. I can call fire from the sky with my gun. It was great. It's not great now. And that's not a controversial statement either before anybody jumps on my ass It's not great right now. They need to fix that shit. It's fucked up. None of our group even plays it. Like, I remember when it was coming out and they showed a trailer like in May of something. I was like, this is a wash. Immediately was like, this shit's garbage, guys. And they were like, come on, bro. I was like, okay, look, I'm going to play the game because you guys want to play the game. That's how we roll. And I think a month in, we had cleared all the content. We did everything. There was nothing to do. And you were like, everyone was like, you're fucking right about this. I was like, am I fucking right? Because I thought I was fucking right a month ago. Anyway, Destiny's fun. Was fun. Destiny was fun. And if they fix it, I'll gladly go back. But it's the perfect example of a loot game on topic. It's you fucking dropped into a world that's difficult to explore until you level up and until you get loot. Destiny is a first-person shooter. So the loot is, guess what? Guns and armor. The armor is really cool in 1. It allows you to do things you couldn't do. The guns are really amazing in 1. I got to keep throwing it out there because in 2, not so much. It's fucking great, man. Or it was great. Whatever. Just go and play it. Like, do yourself a favor and play Destiny 1 and 2. And they're both good loot games, man. 2 has a lot to fix right now, and I really, really hope they right the ship. I'm not going to come down on them, but I'm not an apologist. Like, fix your fucking shit. Moving on to the last loot game that I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about it pretty briefly, because, time on the video. Fucking professionalism. Let's talk about that. The Division. The Division came out at a time where Destiny was on some not so safe seas, I'll say. Me and all my friends got it, of course, and it's good. It's a good game. It's a loot game. The story of The Division is some asshole scientist somewhere created a super bug, killed a lot of people in New York, like a lot. I think there's only like a couple of % left of people in New York, and it's a fucking epidemic, and they don't want it to spread to the rest of the world. So these sleeper agents are activated, called the Division, and they don't have the answer to anybody. There's no like chain of command. They just do the job, and the job in this case is save as many people as you can, find the cause of what wiped out New York, and eliminate it. Now there's a lot of intrigue. It's a Tom Clancy game. Rest in peace, Tom Clancy, by the way. So Tom Clancy, he always wrote these sort of crazy fucking stories of spy shit and intrigue, and that's what the Division is at its core. It's like, oh, what's happening? Oh, Aaron Keener. Oh, rogue agents. Fuck. Of course, if you give a person or a group of people unlimited power and no person to answer to, of course somebody's gonna be like, why the fuck would I do what I'm supposed to do when I could just do this other shit over here? So anyway, that's a Division. Again, it's a shooter, but it's a third-person shooter, so you see your character all the time. And in this game, there's cosmetic items that change the way your character looks. They don't do anything for you, but like in Diablo, they look cool. It's like, oh sweet, I'm wearing a beanie or a hipster fucking side hat shit with my sideburns showing like a tool. But the real stars of the show are the guns. Again, and also set bonuses. They took that from Diablo. They added items that if you put on 3 or more pieces, change the way you play. And there's a lot to unpack with the Division, but it is a loot game. But the cool thing that separates it, like with Destiny, is it's an MMO, or pseudo. Since Destiny's not an MMO, it's a pseudo MMO, meaning you play online with your friends, and there's raids, there's dungeons, there's fucking greater rifts from Diablo, there's regular rifts and shit, that and all in the sake of what? What have we been talking about? Loot. You get better guns. They work well with your power-ups. They work well with what you're wearing, your armor. There's like powers that you can use. It's crazy because Division agents have like powers. It's weird. I mean, it's grounded in reality. It's literally a photorealistic New York you're playing in. So if you've never been to New York, turn on the Division. You've been there. It's crazy. But there's like powers and there's items, and everything about a loot game makes exploring the world easier and funner. There's bosses, there's mobs like in Diablo, elite mobs, trash mobs as people call them, bosses with names above their heads like, hey, fuck you, and they talk shit. It's great. Division is another example of a loot game done right. There's a lot of things wrong with it, but they've been working super hard to fix it, and they just announced it too. And I gotta say, I'm buying it. I'm fucking buying it, and if my friends want it and they don't have the money, I'm buying it for them. Because hell yes, we're playing some loot games together, and I love loot games. I love friends. I know that's weird, but please go and pick up these loot games that I've talked about. Destiny 1 and 2, The Division, Diablo 3. Please pick that up. That's bread and butter, and Borderlands. Go and play them, and you'll really understand what I mean about being dropped into a world and being able to explore the world fluidly and like with minimal effort, thanks to the loot you get in this game. And like that's my time for this week. I think next week I'm going to talk about. I know I mentioned Call of Duty last time, and I will get to that because Call of Duty is huge, and I want to do a big like thing for that. But anyway, that's my time this week, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You have a good time. Later.